Okay, the last of the major exemptions is advisory, consultative, and deliberative. This exemption causes a lot of people angst, but it's actually quite simple. A little bit hard to wrap your mind around, but actually quite easy. ACD is interagency or intra-agency material that is advisory, consultative, or deliberative in nature. For example, draft documents and draft minutes are always ACD. Part of the reason why this exemption is difficult is because it's not truly defined in the statute. It arises from a court-created doctrine, the deliberative process privilege, and that's a document which permits government agencies to withhold documents which reflect opinions, recommendations, and deliberations submitted as part of a process where governmental decisions and policies are formulated. It actually comes out of federal law. I always tell people to think of the ACD exemption as brainstorming, and the purpose is to allow a government entity and the people in it to brainstorm about different ideas and solutions and to shield those ideas and those deliberations from disclosure. And the reason why you would want to do that is you would chill people's concept of thinking out of the box and just throwing things out there if they knew that at some point their out of the box and, in hindsight, not so logical solution would be subject to disclosure. To the extent that a definition can be hobbled together, it is again inter or intra-agency materials which contain opinions, recommendations, or advice. And to be subject to an exemption, the document must demonstrate that some decision was being considered, evaluated, or pondered. And for a definition, you can look to O'Shea versus West Milford Board of Education. The citation is on the slide. Things that if you will see in a document that will cue you to the idea that it's ACD will be words such as, please review and advise, or tell me what you think, we recommend, we suggest. All of these allude to the fact that there's a decision being pondered. Now, technically, OPRA provides the exemption for inter and intra-agency material, and agencies refer to state agencies. So if you have a communication that's within one agency and people deliberating, or two agencies, two separate agencies are deliberating, that would definitely be ACD. What isn't addressed is if those communications are between two municipalities, or between a state agency and a municipality, or possibly between agencies of another state. For example, there are joint state agencies like the Port Authority, which is run by both New York and New Jersey, and the question is, if the two agencies, one from New York and one from New Jersey, were deliberating things, would that be subject to exemption under ACD? And what about between the state and the federal government? None of these things are really addressed. However, I take the position, and I would err as a custodian on the side of caution and not disclose anything that was ACD in nature, but between, say, municipalities or agencies of different states. Okay, a requirement for something to be ACD is that it must be pre-decisional. The records must have been generated before the agency adopted or reached its decision. Strictly factual segments of a document are not exempt, so those would have to be disclosed. So again, you have a situation where you would be disclosing the document but redacting certain segments